little update for what's happening in New Zealand. And we've got Heather Rayner here as guest host, and my wife is hosting with me. And we just are looking forward to jumping in right after this.
Welcome to Kingdom Talks, where we engage leaders, teachers, creative artists, and everyday people in conversations that awaken listeners to new revelations of the Kingdom Age. All of our courses, community conversations, partnership links, and much more can be found on our website, kingdomtalksmedia.com. Now, enjoy the show.
All right, well, we are back again with Ian Johnson from New Zealand, who's running for Parliament, right? Is that correct?
Right. Yes.
Why don't you share a little bit before we jump in too far, because some of our listeners may not understand what is Parliament versus the Senate or the House, or
Yes.
which we have here in America.
Yeah. Okay, so in New Zealand, we only have one layer of government. And so in America, you've got state government, you've got Senate, you've got all sorts of other layers. And in the United Kingdom, you've got the House of Lords and Parliament. In New Zealand, we only have one layer of government. So we have a House of Representatives, I suppose you'd call it. I mean, well, actually, it is called the House of Representatives.
Okay.
So in a democracy, that's what a democracy is supposed to be, representatives of the people.
There you go.
Yes.
That's good.
Wonderful.
That's good.
I'd like to ask you about that, Ian.
Yeah.
As I understand it, your political system allows people to vote for their local member of parliament, but also to vote for a party as well, which is a national level, and would give you a vote, even if you are not their local MP.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, it's called the party vote. So something over half of MPs in Parliament, we have 120 MPs in Parliament, something over half of that are, they sit in an electorate seat, but then the other percentage, the other half, if you like, party vote. So any party that gets over 5% of the total vote gets a percentage of MPs according to the amount of percentage that they get. So you've got to crack 5% basically to get an MP in.
Fantastic.
So how do you know how close you are as far as getting in at this point, or?
It's hard to know because they're not really doing polls because of the COVID-19 thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably because the current government doesn't look so good at the moment. They don't tend to. They haven't been publishing polls, but behind the scenes polls, we know that we're actually polling probably better than just about all the other minor parties. So we know that things are happening behind the scenes, but publicly there's nothing published.
That's so good.
Well,
real quick though, because a little funny thing, just that you said that they were in. It sounded like you said they were in electric seats, and obviously you said elected seats, but I'm thinking electric seats would be really nice, and then everybody at home has a button to push. If they like what they voted, they're good. If not, they get to push the button. That would help keep some politicians, to what the people want.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, crazy.
just before we got on, you were sharing a story that I think is so key, and I think will really bless our listeners about someone who died. And usually that's not a good news story, but
This was good.
No,
So
well, absolutely. No, it's a great story. We had, I wasn't there, but one of the meetings for the party that they had down country, a man came to the meeting and he dropped dead. And
Wow.
it was the right political party to die in because the co-leader of the party, Edward Shanley, began to pray for him. And the long and the short of it is that he was resurrected from the dead.
wow,
Wow.
that's amazing.
We took that as a sign from the Lord that actually that's our mandate, to bring life
Yes.
back to the nation of New Zealand, to bring resurrection.
Yes.
into
That's
the
so good.
Amen. Amen. Ian, yes, we stand with you on this. And as Ian Clayton often says, New Zealand is the beginning of each day starts in New Zealand. And I really believe New Zealand is heralding what is coming to the world.
That's good.
Good.
That's good. Yeah. So, what else is happening? There weren't a lot of questions, from the viewers on the first time around, but I'm sure that there are tons of questions that just haven't been asked that people didn't necessarily think of. But since the last show and this one, what has come up that's new, that's fresh, that maybe people need to know about as they're thinking about going out and voting right now?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's huge shifts and turmoil going on in the political world. I mean, I think that's happening worldwide.
Yes.
Yes.
The Lord's sort of, excuse me for a moment, sorry about that. The Lord sort of warned me a while ago, actually, leading up to Rosh Hashanah, which is the 19th of September.
Yes.
The 2 weeks leading up to it, which actually start this Saturday, the Lord sort of warned me a long time ago that there'd be tremendous turmoil would begin to hit the political scene in New Zealand. So I'm prophesying that. And not that I want to see it happen, but I'm just echoing what I believe the Lord is saying. And the word of the Lord has been for Christians who are voting, look, keep your eyes on Jesus.
Yeah.
Don't listen to vain promises. Don't even listen to people that are stirring you up to, if I don't vote this way, this is my last chance to do something or other. The Lord's saying, keep your eyes on Jesus, because the turmoil that's coming in the next couple of weeks, I believe, is going to set the scene for what happens in the 2020 general election. So regardless of where we sit currently as a party, I'm confident. I actually had other options. I was offered to sit to run for another party, but it wasn't a Christian. They didn't have a Christian constitution. They have Christians in the party. Mm-hmm. And I just I prayed about it, and I felt the safest way for people to vote for kingdom is actually for a party that has a Christian constitution.
Yes.
And so that's what led me to the one party that I'm standing for. And while we can make great promises and everything else, we really have to just say what God says to say.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, that's good. So, are there any shifts that are coming or that are expected that are, what do you see anything possibly coming up in the future that, I know we just had our Wednesday night deal and we just felt like Father was about to make some major shifts and.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that has been happening, so I think I might have mentioned it last time about, the Born Alive amendment and the abortion legislation in New Zealand. The Lord has got really offended by that. There's an offence in the heart of God, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yes, I felt that.
There's an offence in his nostrils. That's what the scripture would say.
Yes.
And so I think it was 59 MPs voted for that amendment or voted it down. And so far, 15 of them have gone. They've resigned, and some of them totally unexpected.
Wow.
My feeling is that that God, because the government belongs to God.
Yeah.
My feeling is that there's going to be some real surprises in this upcoming election, that God is not going to allow his name to be mocked, and he's not going to allow this death that's been basically opened up over New Zealand to keep going, because he is in charge at the end of the day, and that's the good thing about running for government, is that he's the boss.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. That's amazing, Ian. So as I understand it, there was only an 18 MP difference in terms of the vote for and against. So if 15 MPs have already gone, have they been replaced by people who stand for life? What's happening with that?
Oh, well, most of them have probably resigned at the election. So they've resigned effective at the election. So we won't know who replaces. That's why it's so important for Christians to vote righteously. So, so one of the things that we say is, and one of the arguments you get is, so why don't Christians all get together and unite? Good question. But what they don't realise is that behind the scenes, we are. So there are other Christians in other parties, for instance, who are running in the 2020 election. So that's where the party vote comes in. We're asking for their party vote.
Yes.
But we're also telling Christians we're not standing against that particular person in that electorate because they're already operating in a kingdom mandate. So vote for them, even though they're in a different party, but give the party vote to one party. So there's a kingdom strategy going on behind the scenes.
Wow.
So people go into a panic, why don't Christians get together? Why don't all these parties join together? There is a strategy that we, so we are actually the only Christian party. So the others have Christians in them, but they don't have a Christian constitution or a Christian manifesto. And the problem with that is that in New Zealand, and I can talk about this because this party no longer exists, but there was a Christian Democrat, I think they were called, and they merged with United New Zealand to form a party called United Future. So United Future got in based on the Christian vote. They got 8 MPs into the New Zealand Parliament. But because they didn't have a Christian constitution, they were secular in nature. When they got in, the leaders of the party weren't Christian, and they shifted the or the executive at backroom level. They shifted out of the Christian model, and they basically let that Christian vote down. And for that reason, a lot of Christians in New Zealand are actually nervous about voting for a Christian party.
Wow.
But I can reassure them that actually the only party that they can safely vote for is the one party, because sounds like a political campaign, but it is. But
right.
But because we have an apostolic council, which no other party. We don't think that even anywhere in the world, actually, any political party has another wing. So every political party has an executive wing and a political wing. So the political wing is the candidates, the executive wing, all the stuff going on in the background. That's how most parties operate.
Wow.
We have a third layer of accountability, and it's called an apostolic council. So we're still building that. We have Maori, we have Pākehā, New Zealand, European New Zealanders, for those who don't know what Pākehā are. We have New Zealand, European New Zealanders, and we've got immigrant New Zealanders that we want to see in an apostolic council. So we've currently got about 14. We want 24 elders who the party is responsible to. So if they see it going off the track, we have an apostolic council who sit in a seat of government outside the natural government, if you understand.
That's
so
good.
We believe that our constitution, our manifesto is unique in the world. We're actually presenting a party that actually has the safety of people who sit in heavenly places.
This is so good. I will just say to anybody that's watching, especially if you're in New Zealand, share it with those that are in New Zealand, because I think that's something that everybody needs to hear, is what your party is and stands for. And to stand up, if you're a Christian, stand up and start doing, voting righteously, voting what the Father's showing you. But step into this. Don't just sit around. And again, if you're watching this, take action and share it. Share it with other New Zealanders that need to hear this. This is good.
Yes, absolutely. We are standing with you, Ian. And I am British, and Gil and Adina are American, but that doesn't matter. We are standing with New Zealand globally. And I would like to invite anyone who would like to come to a time of prayer with us to do that. May I screen share that, Gil?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So if you would like to know more about that, go to globalcommunityinyeshua.org, and we have an invitation just here. You click on Ian's handsome face. It will take you to a site where on the 19th of September in America and Europe, and the 20th of September in New Zealand, Australia, and Singapore, we will all come together.
That's good.
And that's going to be at 11 a.m. in New Zealand. And if you would like to help Ian, we have a link to his website. You click there, you will be able to help him as he stands for the Lord in this capacity.
It's awesome.
Good. Love that. Thank you for sharing that. So again, if you're listening, Heather just gave you some ways to take action, and definitely step into that, support Ian, and get the word out, because people need to know what's happening in the governmental section of New Zealand.
Yes,
and I just want to
yes.
clarify, Heather, it's not just the political stuff, but you're focusing on abortion. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And it's not just New Zealanders who are welcome. Everyone is welcome. So it is going to be midnight in the UK and 1 a.m. in Europe. Sorry about that. But it's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern time in the USA, 4 p.m. Pacific time, and 9 a.m. Australia, and 7 a.m. Singapore. So it is accessible to everybody. And we are specifically kingdom-minded.
Yes.
I am not personally political. I will support whoever wants to do the kingdom work. And we are particularly interested in life issues, life for everyone, and supporting Ian as he seeks to bring in life for everyone, and life options, not just for the unborn, but also for the mothers as well.
Love that. It's good. So good, Heather. Hey, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back after this.
Hey there. Thank you for joining Kingdom Talks. We are taking a short break to share with you the life-changing online course called Ultimate Impact. Gil and Adina do an amazing job taking the complicated and making it simple and applicable for your life. Ecclesia groups are using this course to shift their thinking into the next stage paradigm. Yeshua spoke of power, authority, love, and oneness that we have yet to walk in. So if you're ready to deconstruct limiting beliefs in order to step into what Father is doing now, this course is for you. Sign up today at kingdomtalksmedia.com under the Courses tab. Now, back to the show.
All right, we are back with Ian Johnson, Heather Rayner, my wife Adina. We're excited to just be taking action. And as I've said it over and over and over, get the word out. So pass this around, get it out, especially to the New Zealanders. But Heather just shared some information that she wants out to the entire world. So get that out there so that we can begin engaging together. We've got to come together. Get it out to all of your friends that are spiritual followers of Yahweh and Yeshua and the Holy Spirit, so that we can come together as one. It's really important.
This abortion issue is relevant to every nation. I know in our country, in the USA, there's some shifting going on. There's a lot of prophetic words about Roe versus Wade being overturned. And so if Father has laid this on your heart, just encourage you to engage on September 19.
Yes.
Very good. Well, Ian, what else do you have to share with this? Anything else you think the voters in New Zealand or Christians in New Zealand should know about?
Yeah, I think the whole COVID-19 thing has really caused economic chaos around the world, and I think that more than anything, the answers are only going to come from God. I mean, at the end of the day, we can't rely on humanity to be able to pull us out of this issue. My feeling is that we're on the edge of a major harvest in the earth, and
Yes.
this attack, if you like, on humanity right now is really designed to take our eyes off the harvest, to take our eyes off, try and prevent this move of God. And so there's never been a time more so than now that we need to unite as believers.
Yes.
Definitely.
Amen.
Look, it's the same for you guys in the United States. I saw the issues that you're facing. They're all life and death issues. They're all moral issues. They're all
Yes.
issues of freedom of speech and all of the things that you face. And I'm sure it's the same in the UK. It's the same worldwide. We're facing the same things. And, the Lord is actually challenging Christians right now to stand up and to vote up, because we are actually still the majority in the earth.
Yes.
And we tend to lie down. And I did a video in New Zealand yesterday about what is democracy. And democracy is actually, for the people, by the people, or by the people, for the people. Sorry, and basically, what's happened everywhere in the world is that a group of elites have got voted in by the people.
Yeah.
And they're not for the people.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's time for Christians to answer your own prayer, as it says in, as it is in heaven, so shall it be on earth, in the Lord's Prayer. Sometimes the Lord says, actually, you're the answer to that prayer.
Yeah.
And instead of lying on the ground and letting our tummies be rubbed by a group of elitists, it's actually time to rise up and take hold of the government. If we truly believe in a kingdom message and a kingdom mandate, God is going to do something special in the earth in this time of harvest.
That's so
That's so
good.
good.
Absolutely.
And just a question. I know that originally the vote was supposed to be on September 19, and then it's been bumped to October. Now, is October standing, or may that shift as well?
Well, the Prime Minister, who has the final say in when the vote will be, has said that she won't shift it again.
Okay.
So even if we, go into another lockdown or something, they're going to have to come up with ways of getting people safely to and from polling booths. So just pray for New Zealand that we would keep in a place where the vote will be and done with integrity, and there won't be any interference and stuff going on.
Yes.
And it's really important that we get to the polling booth and vote. I mean, last time, over 1 million New Zealanders didn't vote, and that's concerning.
Yes.
We really need to take responsibility and actually get out and vote.
Yeah. It's vital, and again, just speaking to the Christians to rise up, because
No matter what
as
country.
you've said, the harvest is ripe. There is a harvesting, and as you also said,
Yes.
the enemy, the darkness, has been rising up very strongly to try to put out what God's going to be doing, and it's just to me, it's so obvious, it's so evident that that's what's going on. I mean, you've got the rioters and the garbage that's going on just rising up higher and higher and being more blatant about it, but we need the Christians to come together and to do their part, because this is the time to shine. And that's been the words, from the beginning of this year.
Yes.
So we really need to take that seriously. And if you're a Christian, do something. See what the Father's doing and do what He's doing, because it's time to rise up. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amen.
Love it. What else? Any other questions? Heather, Dina? Well, if you're listening, you need to make sure that you write your questions, because I know Heather and Ian will and we will as well. We're watching. We may not exactly be able to answer immediately, but we do see those questions. We do see those comments. So please put them in there so you can get connected to Ian. And Heather's got her event coming up as well. So make sure you get connected there. It's important. Again, I can't stress it enough. Christians have got to step up. We've got to rise up and start taking some action. But do it according to what the Father's doing, not what you think might be right, because that seems to make a lot of messes.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. We honor you, Ian, enormously. We love you.
Yes.
We stand with you at this time.
Yeah. All right. Any last
Thank
words,
you.
Ian?
Yeah, I just want to say that from the launch of the party, that we launched the party at the entry point of the gospel into New Zealand, and that day was a partnership between Maori and Pākehā, and
Wonderful.
in New Zealand that's important. And when we launched the party, it was a unity and a union between Maori and Pākehā, and so it was very moving for me personally. And so from that point, I've known that God's hand is on this to bring unity in our nation and to bring a
Wonderful.
national revival, a national move of God, not based on government, but based on two peoples coming together under one korowai, which is, the covering.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
we're really looking forward to seeing what God's going to do in the 2020 election. It's exciting. It's scary. It's it's incredible.
Yes.
So let me ask
Amen.
you one more thing, Ian, just to make sure. So if there are people in New Zealand who maybe aren't used to voting, or they don't know exactly how to help support your party or to support you, is there any instruction that you could give to them, kind of, step by step, so that they can at least find the right place to go to and figure out how to support you and to support this new party?
Yep. So on election day, they just have to tick one party. That'll get us over the 5%. If all Christians in New Zealand mobilised, we'd actually be the biggest political party in New Zealand.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's how much authority we are giving away every election.
Wow.
And that's my message. Because we can keep voting for parties that don't meet our values, we're giving our authority away. We're actually ticking our
abdicating.
authority. So my message is tick one party, and we chuckle because it says on the ballot form, this is your party vote. Please only tick one party.
Yes.
So that makes it easy.
Excellent.
Just the party that says one party, that's the one to click.
That's right.
Yeah, that is fantastic.
That's clever.
Awesome. Yes. And as we know, evil prospers when good people do nothing. So if we choose not to vote, it's like a passive vote for abortion.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. And abdicating, when you really think of what that word means, it just means you're just squandering and laying down your authority and your right. And that's what so many Christians have done for so long, just abdicated their authority by not voting. Yet if we were to come together and vote, we could accomplish so much in the world. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, Ian, thank you so much for being on here and praying blessings and favor over you and your party that's going on there in New Zealand, that the Father's will be done, and that there will be some great and mighty miracles, signs, wonders happen in New Zealand, and that would be the beginning of things that would go around the earth.
Definitely.
I'd love to see that.
And we just so encourage you to connect with Heather on September 19 for life. If the issue of abortion is on your heart, this is your time to mobilize, to activate, to join together in unity.
Yes,
Amen.
absolutely. It'll be on a Zoom call, so it's accessible to everyone.
All right. And that website that you were showing, that's where they would need to go to get connected with you, right?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you, Heather. Again, thank you, Ian.
Thank
Honor
you.
you, bless you in what's coming. And thank you to my wife. And we will look forward to seeing all of you next time. Blessings. Take care.
Bless you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking time out to listen to Kingdom Talks. You can find out more about Kingdom Talks Media and our mission to unite in faith and grow as mature sons at kingdomtalksmedia.com. Please continue to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Spreaker, Spotify, iTunes, Fringe Radio Network, and many more places. go to our website to find links to all of our media outlets, as well as fantastic online courses and conferences, including the life-changing interactive course, Ultimate Impact. And last but not least, we ask that you consider partnering with us to fulfill the mission to get these messages to the world. To become a partner, go to the Partnership tab on our website. Thank you, and until next time, live a blessed life and keep carrying us in your heart and sharing us wherever hearts are open.